Hi, I'm Steve Copnall from Cobra Garden. Today we're going to be looking at fitting the turf rake to the Cobra Fortis. So whether you've got the petrol machine or you've got the battery, smooth roller or grooved, the assembly is exactly the same with the turf rake. So you get your turf rake sub-assembly. You also get two nylon spacers. These are to replace the spacers that are fitted to the machine. They are basically a narrower length, shorter length than what's on there. So keep the ones that you take off, but they replace them with these when fitting. So first thing we need to do with a 17mm spanner or socket is just to remove the nylock nut from the side. And then what we have is basically a central shaft which we can withdraw from this end. And then as we start releasing that, we can remove off the spacers. So we can just drop our roller down for a moment, just remove the shaft. We've also got our side plates, side foot plates, with a fixing in and a nylock nut on the other side. So we just need to remove those from both sides, because we will need to attach those then to the rake assembly. So again, with two 13mm, we just want to remove that nylock nut. So the nylock nut and washers, we can basically dispose of those or keep them for future, just in case you do want to revert back to your original setting. The wider spacers we can also put to one side because we won't need those. Then we need to just remove the fixing from the rake assembly. And then using our longer bolts, which were originally supplied, just need to swap over the spring washer and the washer. So the larger bolt, spring washer and washer. We can just position our rake frame into position. Then just bring in our roller. And then we can just insert the shaft with one of the spaces provided. So you want to make sure that the bracket on the end of the shaft is flush up against the side plate, and the angled section is just over the top, and that just stops it turning when you are fixing the nylock nut. So we've got our thread exposed, so we can put our nylock nut back on. And then back with the 17mm, just secure that nylock nut. And then we've also got, along with our long M8 thread with the spring washer and washer, we've also got our top hat spacer. And then on our side plates, we've got like 3 hole position locations. So if you revert back to your instruction manual, for different heights of cut, we have got different height settings for your rake as well. Generally, if you're fitting in the middle hole, that does suit sort of the highest and the lowest height positions, but there is options to vary that if required. So you can locate the top hat space in the middle hole, and that then secures your side plate. Same again with the opposite side. So top hat spacer into the middle hole. Just make sure you do them both in the exact same position. And then those threads then go into a weld nut that's located on the rake frame assembly. So ideally, when setting your rake frame, your rake, you want to be about 3-4 mil above your the ground condition. So you don't want to be dragging that along the soil level. You want to be just up into the grass canopy, just combing through the long grasses, just lifting them up before it goes through the cylinder. So make sure both fixings are slack, and then you can raise and lower that rake assembly depending on what sort of height of cut you are on. Once you're happy with that, you can just lock those fixings into place, and that will secure your rake frame. Just remember, when you do lower your height of cut, that will lower your rake as well, so you need to make sure you adjust that separately to the actual height adjustment.